Japanese urologists and USC sleep researchers agree on one surprising truth. Some of the best treatments for nighttime urination aren't pills, they're fruits. Yes, sweet fruits. It sounds shocking, especially when most people with nocturia are told to avoid sugar at night. But here's what cutting-edge research shows. Certain fruits contain compounds that naturally increase melatonin, boost antidiuretic hormone, ADH, calm the detrusor muscle in your bladder, and support your kidneys' natural filtration rhythm overnight. And when your kidneys stop filtering too much and your bladder nerves stop misfiring, you sleep deeper and wake up less. In today's video, you'll discover 3 sweet fruits proven to reduce nighttime urination, improve sleep, and help you wake up feeling refreshed. At the end of the video, you'll also get fruits you should avoid at night if you want real relief from nocturia. First on list, cherries. What if one sweet, juicy fruit could quietly help you sleep through the night, calm your bladder muscles, and even support kidney filtration without raising your blood sugar or irritating your urinary tract? That's exactly what cherries can do. Often seen as a summer treat, cherries are far more than a sweet indulgence. These vibrant red fruits are rich in a naturally occurring hormone called melatonin, which tells your brain it's time to sleep. But here's what most people don't realize. Melatonin also signals your kidneys to reduce urine production at night. This hormone acts on the suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain, the body's internal clock, and helps control the circadian rhythm of your urinary system. That means fewer bladder contractions during sleep, reduced nighttime awakenings, and deeper, more restorative rest. For people with nocturia, especially those managing type 2 diabetes, prostate enlargement, or kidney dysfunction, cherries offer a surprisingly gentle and natural path to healing. Let's talk blood sugar. The glycemic index, GI, of sweet cherries is about 25, which is considered good, but the glycemic load, GL, which takes into account actual serving size, is low at just 9 per half cup. That means a small serving of cherries won't spike blood sugar. 1 cup, 154 grams, of fresh pitted cherries contains 97 calories, 25 grams of carbohydrates, and 3 grams of fiber, leaving you with a net carb count of 22 grams. Natural sugars in cherries are balanced by their fiber and polyphenols, which slow down glucose absorption. That same cup also delivers 10% of your daily value for vitamin C, 9% for potassium, 7% for copper, and small amounts of magnesium and vitamin B6, all essential for nerve communication, bladder muscle control, and kidney electrolyte balance. What makes cherries especially valuable for nocturia is their impact on antidiuretic hormone, ADH, also called vasopressin. This hormone tells the kidneys to reabsorb more water and produce less urine at night. Studies suggest that tart cherries can naturally boost melatonin and improve vasopressin signaling, helping the body hold on to water during the night instead of sending it straight to the bladder. That's why people who consume tart cherry juice or whole cherries before bed often notice fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, especially if their nocturia is linked to poor sleep quality, bladder overactivity, or hormone imbalance. Another key benefit is their impact on bladder inflammation and interstitial cystitis, IC. Cherries are packed with anthocyanins and quercetin, powerful flavonoids that reduce irritation in the bladder wall, lower histamine responses, and protect the fragile epithelial lining that keeps the bladder sealed. This is crucial because a weakened bladder lining can lead to urgency, frequency, and pain, even at night. For diabetics whose autonomic nerves often suffer damage, these compounds help restore balance in the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs involuntary actions like bladder contraction and sphincter relaxation. When those signals work properly, you regain better control over urination, especially while asleep. Hydration is also a misunderstood piece of the puzzle. Many people with nocturia cut water intake entirely in the evening, but this leads to concentrated urine, which irritates the bladder lining and triggers more urgency. Cherries solve this elegantly. They're made up of about 75% water, slow-releasing hydration wrapped in fiber. This gradual release supports serum osmolality, helping your kidneys regulate fluid balance without overloading the bladder. They also contain a natural sugar alcohol called sorbitol, which gently hydrates the colon and kidneys without stimulating the bladder like caffeine or alcohol would. There's also a neurological angle. Cherries provide copper and vitamin B6, which helps synthesize dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters that improve sleep and calm an overactive bladder. For people with diabetic neuropathy, a common cause of disrupted bladder signaling, this neuroprotective effect is incredibly valuable. And for men dealing with benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, cherries help reduce local inflammation in the prostate region, supporting better urine flow and less nighttime dribbling. A myth worth busting. Many believe diabetics can't eat sweet fruits like cherries, but the truth lies in portion, size, and context. When eaten as part of an evening meal or paired with a protein like Greek yogurt or nuts, cherries digest more slowly and provide all their bladder-calming benefits without triggering a glucose spike. Just avoid dried or canned cherries, which are often loaded with added sugar. Here's something fascinating. One study found that participants who consumed tart cherries for 7 days had a measurable rise in urinary melatonin metabolites, a marker of how well the body absorbs and uses melatonin from food. These same participants reported 36% fewer nighttime awakenings. That means cherries don't just help you fall asleep, they help you stay asleep by supporting bladder quietness and hormone stability. Try this evening remedy. Blend 1/2 cup of fresh, pitted cherries with 1/2 cup plain Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, and a pinch of cinnamon. This creates a creamy, anti-inflammatory, blood sugar-friendly smoothie that supports bladder health, digestive function, and nighttime hormone cycles. The yogurt provides casein protein, which digests slowly and reduces nighttime hunger, while flax seeds add lignans that calm the prostate and support estrogen balance in women. Drink this 1 to 2 hours before bed in a portion of 1 cup, 8 ounces. Just a thoughtful reminder, cherries are high in potassium, about 342 milligrams per cup, so if you have late-stage kidney disease or are on potassium-restricted medications, speak with your doctor first. Also, avoid gulping large amounts quickly. Sorbitol may cause mild gas or bloating in sensitive individuals. Before we go to the next fruit, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. It's always inspiring to see how far this video is reaching. Second on list, apples, crisp, sweet, and deeply refreshing. Apples are one of the most underrated nighttime healing fruits for people struggling with frequent urination. While they're often associated with daytime energy and digestion, apples have quiet powers that make them ideal for managing nocturia, especially when it's driven by poor bladder control, nerve signaling issues, or kidney overactivity at night. The real magic lies in a soluble fiber called pectin, which forms a gentle gel in the digestive tract. This gel slows down digestion, balances blood sugar, and prevents rapid shifts in blood volume that can overload the kidneys in the evening. And for people dealing with nocturia due to diabetes, enlarged prostate, overactive bladder, or even mild kidney impairment, this steadying effect helps the entire urinary system remain calm through the night. Let's look at the numbers. A medium-sized apple, about 200 grams, contains around 95 calories, 25 grams of total carbohydrates, and 4 grams of fiber, mostly pectin, making up 14% of your daily value. It contains about 19 grams of natural sugar, but due to its fiber structure and low glycemic load of 6, it has a very mild impact on blood glucose when consumed in moderation. The glycemic index of apples ranges between 36 and 40, low enough to be considered safe and even beneficial for type 2 diabetics, as long as they pair it with protein or fat. Apples also provide 8% of the daily value for vitamin C, 6% for potassium, and trace levels of magnesium and B-complex vitamins, all essential for regulating nerve impulses, bladder contractions, and kidney filtration. Here's where it gets interesting for nocturia. Apples are rich in antioxidants like quercetin and chlorogenic acid, which have been shown to reduce inflammation in the urothelium, the protective lining of the bladder. When this lining becomes irritated, either from acidic urine or nerve hypersensitivity, it sends false signals of urgency to the brain. Quercetin helps desensitize these nerve endings, calming bladder spasms and reducing the frequency of nighttime wake-ups. Meanwhile, chlorogenic acid improves renal tubular function, which is the part of the kidney that reabsorbs water and reduces excess nighttime urine production. In diabetics, these pathways are often impaired due to insulin resistance and neuropathy, making apples a simple yet profound tool in restoring control. What many don't realize is that apples also support the release of antidiuretic hormone, ADH, also known as vasopressin, through their natural hydration and mineral balance. ADH plays a crucial role in helping the kidneys retain water during sleep. Apples contain about 86% water, which hydrates slowly thanks to their fiber. This allows the kidneys to respond more gently to ADH signals without triggering bladder urgency. Apples also help regulate serum sodium levels, which is essential for balancing fluid retention at night. When sodium is too concentrated in the blood, as happens when you're dehydrated or after salty dinners, it pulls water into the bloodstream and floods the bladder. Apples help ease that pressure naturally. There's also a neurological benefit. Apples contain a compound called ursolic acid, which has been shown to protect against peripheral nerve damage, a common contributor to nocturia in diabetics and older adults. When nerves in the lower spine or bladder become damaged, the signals between brain and bladder misfire, leading to unnecessary nighttime urination. Ursolic acid, along with vitamin B6 and magnesium in apples, supports nerve regeneration and helps retrain the bladder-brain connection. One myth that needs clearing up. Some believe apples should be avoided at night due to their sugar content. But this isn't true when you choose the right variety, like Fuji, Gala, or Red Delicious. Eat it with skin on and keep the portion to one medium apple. The fiber, water, and antioxidant content far outweigh any potential blood sugar concern, especially when the apple is part of a controlled nighttime routine. In fact, apples can help reduce blood sugar fluctuations overnight, which are often linked to nighttime urination due to osmotic pressure, when the kidneys excrete excess glucose by pulling water with it. Here's an amazing fun fact. Apples contain natural plant compounds that act as ACE inhibitors, very similar to medications used to control blood pressure and reduce kidney damage in diabetics. These compounds help relax blood vessels and reduce strain on the glomeruli, the tiny filters in your kidneys responsible for producing urine. Less pressure here means less urine made at night. To enjoy apples in a way that supports bladder calmness and blood sugar stability, try this soothing bedtime recipe. Slice half a medium apple, with skin on, saute lightly in 1 teaspoon of unsalted butter, and sprinkle with cinnamon and crushed walnuts. The butter and nuts slow down sugar absorption, the cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity, and the apple delivers hydration and pectin. Keep the portion to about 1/2 apple or 100 grams if you're diabetic, and have it at least 90 minutes before bed. A gentle word of caution: apples are high in FODMAPs, a group of fermentable carbohydrates that may cause bloating in people with sensitive digestive systems like IBS. If you notice gas or discomfort after eating apples, try peeling them or switching to cooked forms like steamed or lightly baked slices. Third on list, watermelon. Cool, juicy, and instantly refreshing, watermelon might seem like the last fruit you'd reach for if you're trying to stop frequent nighttime urination. After all, it's made up of over 90% water, and that alone makes many people think it might worsen bladder issues. But here's the surprising truth. When consumed in the right portion and at the right time, watermelon actually supports your renal circadian rhythm, the natural 24-hour pattern that governs when your kidneys filter and when your bladder fills. This rhythm often gets disrupted in people with nocturia, especially in those with type 2 diabetes, benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or diabetic nephropathy. What watermelon does is gently rehydrate, cool inflammation, and support the body's natural fluid regulation without overstimulating urine output. It delivers hydration without heaviness and nutrients without sugar spikes. Let's look at the glycemic impact first. Watermelon has a glycemic index of about 72, which sounds high, but the glycemic load for 1 cup of diced watermelon is only 5. That's because the carbohydrate content is so low per serving. 1 cup, 152 grams, of diced watermelon provides about 46 calories, 12 grams of carbohydrates, and less than 1 gram of fiber. Despite its sweetness, it contains only about 9.5 grams of natural sugar per cup, with zero fat and minimal protein. It also offers 14% of your daily value for vitamin C, 12% for vitamin A, as beta-carotene, and 5% for potassium. Most importantly, it delivers citrulline, a rare amino acid that improves blood flow and reduces pressure on the kidneys and bladder wall. Now here's where it becomes a game changer for Nocturia. Watermelon contains compounds that support glomerular filtration rate, GFR, the measure of how well your kidneys are filtering blood. When kidneys filter too quickly at night, urine fills the bladder even when you're supposed to be asleep. Watermelon, through its arginine to citrulline conversion, improves nitric oxide production, which dilates blood vessels and reduces nighttime renal overfiltration. This effect is especially important for people with high blood pressure, poorly controlled blood sugar, or renal hyperfiltration, which are common causes of nocturia. By relaxing the vessels and slowing excessive filtration, watermelon helps retain more water in the bloodstream rather than sending it straight to the bladder. Another powerful mechanism comes from lycopene, the red pigment in watermelon that also acts as a potent anti-inflammatory. Lycopene has been shown to reduce prostatic inflammation, lower urinary tract swelling, and improve detrusor muscle stability. That's the muscle in your bladder responsible for contracting and releasing urine. When this muscle is irritated or weakened, it can spasm during sleep, sending false signals of urgency. Watermelon's lycopene, combined with vitamin A, helps reduce that irritation and restore a healthy stretch-relax cycle in the bladder wall. For men with enlarged prostates or women with bladder hypersensitivity, this can mean the difference between 3 bathroom trips a night and just 1 or none. Another misunderstood benefit is how watermelon affects ADH, antidiuretic hormone levels. Thanks to its high natural water content and rich electrolyte profile, watermelon rehydrates cells without raising blood osmolality, the concentration of solutes in your blood. When your blood is balanced, your pituitary gland produces ADH more efficiently, signaling your kidneys to hold on to water and reduce urine output. This is critical for nighttime, when your body should shift into a lower filtration mode. Watermelon's slow-absorbing hydration supports this shift without overwhelming your bladder. You might have heard the myth that watermelon is a natural diuretic that makes nocturia worse. But this only applies when it's consumed in large amounts or paired with other diuretics like caffeine or salty foods. In proper portions, about 1 cup in the evening, at least 90 minutes before bedtime, watermelon actually supports bladder calmness and kidney efficiency. Its magnesium and potassium content help regulate smooth muscle function in both the bladder and surrounding pelvic floor muscles, improving retention without tension. Here's a fascinating fact. Watermelon is one of the very few fruits that can increase ENOS, endothelial nitric oxide synthase activity, a key enzyme involved in vascular repair and urinary sphincter function. This means it doesn't just reduce pressure, it also strengthens the structures that hold urine in during sleep. And because it's naturally alkaline, watermelon doesn't irritate the bladder lining like citrus fruits or carbonated drinks often do. To enjoy watermelon as a bladder-friendly bedtime treat, try this simple recipe. Blend 1 cup diced watermelon with 4 to 5 fresh mint leaves, a squeeze of lime, optional, and a few ice cubes. This makes a soothing, cooling evening refresher that hydrates gently, reduces bladder spasms, and promotes sleep. If you're diabetic, pair it with a small protein-based snack like a boiled egg or a few almonds to slow glucose absorption. Limit intake to about 1 cup, 150 grams, and consume it no less than 90 minutes before bed. One helpful note, if you have interstitial cystitis, IC, or a very sensitive bladder, test a small amount first. While most people find watermelon soothing, a few may react to the natural fructose if eaten in excess. Also, if you're on potassium-sparing medications or have stage 4 to 5 chronic kidney disease, consult your doctor before increasing watermelon intake regularly. Now that watermelon has shown how even a high-water fruit can reprogram your kidney rhythm, soothe bladder nerves, and reduce nighttime awakenings, are you ready to apply this to your routine and finally sleep deeper without constant interruptions? Fruits to avoid for nighttime urination. If you're struggling with frequent nighttime urination, One group of fruits you'll want to avoid in the evening is citrus. Oranges, grapefruits, lemons, and mandarins are rich in citric acid, which lowers your urinary pH, making your urine more acidic. This acid can irritate the urothelium, the sensitive inner lining of your bladder, and trigger inflammation that leads to a false sense of urgency, even when your bladder isn't full. That irritation sends signals through the pelvic nerves to your brain, activating the detrusor muscle, which controls bladder contractions. When the detrusor becomes overly active at night, it wakes you up multiple times to urinate, interrupting your sleep cycle and worsening nocturia symptoms. For people with diabetes, prostate enlargement, or bladder hypersensitivity, even a small amount of citrus fruit at dinner or after can worsen nighttime symptoms. The problem is amplified if you're drinking citrus juice, which concentrates both citric acid and sugar, increasing osmotic diuresis, a process where excess sugar pulls water into the urine. Citrus also triggers histamine release, which may further inflame the bladder lining, especially in those with mild interstitial cystitis or bladder irritation. That's why citrus fruits, despite their healthy reputation, are best consumed earlier in the day. Avoiding them after 6 p.m. can help reduce bladder spasms, minimize acid-triggered urgency, and support deeper, uninterrupted sleep. When it comes to nocturia, healing often begins not with what you add, but with what you take away at the right time. If this video helped you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next natural step toward deeper sleep and better health. And if you know someone who keeps waking up all night, share this with them. A single fruit swap could change their nights completely.